Today, what we are going to discuss is the reconciliation statement. Reconciliation statement. This is the uh, area which is very important in the syllabus in this chapter, right? So I hope you have basic knowledge on preparing the control account and individual accounts with the list. Okay, right. So let's do this example. Preparation of revised debtors control account. So first question will target on debtors. So debtors control account balance as at 31st December 2019 was different from its total individual ledger balances. Individual ledger balances 340,410 individual balance, right? And subsequent checking revealed the following errors. We have these errors. Prepare the revised debtors control account for the month of December 2019. And also let's prepare the reconciliation statement as well. Okay. So I want you all to draw the control account, adjusted or revised debtors control account, and debtors reconciliation statement. Draw these two. Right. So if you got the tune, some of you all have, I think, got the tunes. Right. If you got the tune, this is in page number 21. Page 21. 21 and 22. So this part I didn't put it. I have put the second part. This page number 22. Okay. Right. So let's start the question. So when it comes to the reconciliation, what you need to understand is this part. Now we have the error. Right? So the error can be from the control account or from the individual accounts. Individual account means sub-ledger. Either it could be from the general ledger or from the sub-ledger, right? So if it is from the control account, if the error is from the control account, right, the error is from the account, we have to prepare revised control account. Right, so this is error correction. This error should be corrected. This is error correction. If the error is from the individual account, you can't correct it. You have to compare. Comparison. So how do you compare? Using the reconciliation. Right? So this is not correction. It's just a comparison. Right? So when you compare, if subledger balance more, then it will be added, less will be minus. So you can write this if you want. Error can be from the control account or individual account. Control account means we do the error correction using revised control account. And if it is from the individual account, we compare by preparing the reconciliation statement. So it's not correction, it is comparison. Comparison. So how do you compare? If the subledger balance is more, it will be added. If the subledger balance is less, it will be deducted. Okay. Now let's move on to the question. They have given the debtors ledger balance as 340,410. So once we complete this, this is the closing balance. Closing balance 340, 410. They have not given the control account balance. Control account balance is not given. Right? So we need to find out what is the opening balance. What is the opening balance? Now, let's do, there are three errors. Right? Error one. Number one, the total of sales journal, sales day book, had been overcasted by 17,025. Right. So first tell me, is it control account or subledger, individual accounts. If it is total, if it is total, we take the total to the control account, not to the individual accounts. We take the total to the control account, not to the individual accounts. Right? So if the total is wrong, the sales account total is wrong. Where do you record the sales? Sales is here. Debtors control account debit. Right? Sales account credit. So if it is overcasted, means overcalculated. So debit side is more. How do you correct it? We have to credit 17,025. This is overcasted sales. We need to find out the opening balance. So overcasted sales will be credited to the debtors control account. Credited to the debtors control account. Number 2. The cash received from customer 9,300 had been correctly recorded in the control account. Control account is correct, but no entry has been made in the relevant individual account. So where do you adjust? Control account or reconciliation? Here they are saying control account is correct, correctly recorded in the control account. So we have to adjust it in the reconciliation statement. Now if it is in the reconciliation statement, you need to know whether it's a plus or minus. Tell me whether it's a plus or minus. Is it a plus or minus? Now you need to see if the error in subsidiary ledger. Compare the reconciliation statement. If subledger balance is more, it is plus. Subledger balance is less, it is minus. So that's the step that we follow. Right? Okay. So let's see what has happened. Cash received from debtor. So if you receive cash, debtor control account balance is less. But if you don't record in the debtors ledger balance is more. Debtors ledger balance is more. So if it is more, we have to add. Omitted. Right. So it is a plus. Omitted. See. say cash received omitted from individual ledger. Cash received omitted from individual ledger. It is a plus 9,300. 9,300. Let me repeat it again. Now it's like this. Okay. So I think still you all have doubts in this. Understand the concept. Carefully understand the concept. Then this is very easy. Okay. Now let's say this is debtors control account. Okay. And let me draw another account. This is individual account. Right. Okay, so let's assume that both the balances are 10,000. Both balances are 10,000. Okay. Now let's take this error. What is the error? Cash received from customer 9,300 had been correctly recorded in the control account. So in control account, cash received is recorded 9,300. Now what is the balance in the control account? Control account balance is 700. 700 control account balance. But what is the balance in the individual account? 10,000. So see the difference. Now what you are going to do is you are going to correct it. Right. Now debtors control account balance is 700. Individual account balance is how much? How do you get this 10,000? You have to add 9,300. Then you will get the answer. See, 10,000. Is it clear now? This is the way that you do the correction. Why we added? Because the cash payment of 9,300 was deducted in the control account, but not deducted in the individual account. So if you deduct in the control account balance is less, the debtors ledger balance is more. So due to that, you add this 9,300. Is it clear? Is it clear? Right. So let's move to the third one. So remember the control account. If the error is in the control account, that is easy. If it is in the reconciliation only, most of the students they have this doubt, plus minus, right? So we will do several questions, then you will understand. Then you will feel this is very simple. Okay. Next question, next error. Credit sales invoice 22,500 had been mistakenly entered into purchases journal, purchases table. Now what has happened? The invoice had been mistakenly entered into purchases journal. Now where does this affect? Where is this error? Is it control account or individual account? Where does this affect? Control account or individual account or both? Where does it affect? This will affect both because the invoice itself wrong. Invoice itself mistakenly entered into purchases journal. So when you record in the purchases journal, that amount, journal amount will be taken to the creditors account, creditors individual account, as well as the total will be recorded in the creditors control account. So remember, if it is only the total, like the first one, if it is only the total, then it will affect only the control account. But if it is the journal entered in the wrong journal, that will affect both. It will affect both. Okay. Now you need to correct error correction through the control account and you need to do the reconciliation. So let me explain through our example. Right. So this is a credit sales invoice had been mistakenly entered into purchases journal. So purchases journal also will be affected. Now here we are not preparing purchases journal. We are preparing only the debtors control account and debtors reconciliation statement. Now this was not recorded in anywhere. Okay. Therefore, debtors control account balance also 10,000, individual account also 10,000. This was not recorded. And this is the sales invoice 22,500. Now how do you correct it? First you have to correct the debtors control account. Write sales or omitted sales 22,500. Now if you debit 22,500, now the control account balance is 32,500. Control account will be corrected 32,500. But individual account we can't correct it. Now what is the control account balance 32,500? How do you get this? Plus or minus? Tell me plus or minus? Once you correct it in the control account, is it a plus or minus? It's a minus. 22,500 should be minus. Then only you will get the answer 10,000. I'm always repeating, it is not correcting. It is comparing. Reconciling means comparing. Okay, so 22,500 will be minus. Committed sales. Right. I'll repeat it again. Now, if there is no difference, if this entire sales invoice was not recorded in the control account or individual account. Now we need to correct the control account, individual account also we need to correct, but we can't do that. So how do you correct the control account? We have to debit 22,500. Then the control account is correct. 32,500 is the correct control account balance. But individual account you can't correct it. Therefore, there is a difference between both 22,500. So that will be deducted, then you get 10,000 in the debtors ledger balance. This is just an example, okay? This is not related to the question, but this is example to show this transaction only. To show only the transaction, I am taking the opening balance as 10,000. Why this is not corrected in adjusted debtors control account? Adjusted control account is corrected. Now we will record it here. Omitted sales 22,500. Adjusted debtors control account, we debit 22,500 and omitted cash receipt, we will deduct 22,500. Okay. Now the closing balance is given 340,410. Now let's calculate the debtors account closing balance. So how do you calculate? Minus will be plus, plus will be minus. Total inside balance is 370,635. Opening balance 348,130. 348,135. This is the opening balance. Right. Let's do another question. Question number 7. Again, the revised debtors control account. The trade debtors control account balance of Nadum traders was 585,600. The following summarized transactions related to trade debtors during the month of August are extracted from the company's records. Credit sales, return inwards, cash receipt, discount allowance. Subsequent checking revealed that the total of the balances appearing in the individual accounts of trade debtors ledger was different from the debtors control account. Individual accounts different from debtors control account. Following are the reasons for the said difference. Prepare the control account and also let's prepare the reconciliation statement. So can you all first do the control account before the correction? Opening balance 1st of August. It was 585,600. Can you all calculate the closing balance and tell me how much is the closing balance before correcting the errors? What is the total or closing balance of debtors control account? Before correcting the errors means you have to record the transaction, the 4 transactions which is given.
அவர் அனுப்பி மாட்டீர் பேப்பர் கிளாஸ்க்கும் ஒரே லிங்க் எனக்கு டபுள் ஐடி கிளாஸ் டைம் உண்டு எனக்கு பிடிச்ச டீச்சர்னா இவர் தாண்டி எனக்கு இப்ப இவரை தான் பிடிக்கும் நல்ல மனுஷன் நல்ல ஜேம்ஸ்
Right. So what is the answer? 625,900. So let's calculate. Credit sales 258,000. Return inwards 23,800. Cash receipt 189,000. Discount 4,090. So the total is 843,600 and the difference is 625,900. 625,900. Difference is 625 900. Sorry, the closing balance. Then let's do the errors, error corrections. Number one, the total of sales table. Total of sales table means it will affect the control account. Overcasted by 20,000. So that means here the sales is overcasted. So we have to credit overcasted sales 20,000. Overcasted sales 20,000. Number two, cash received from trade debtor amounting to 28,000 has been correctly recorded in the control account. Control account is correct, but no entry has been made in the debtor's individual ledger accounts. So if we take, tell me whether it's a plus or minus. So this is exactly not in the control account. This is in the reconciliation. Tell me whether it's a plus or minus. Yes, it is a plus, right? It's a plus because it was deducted from the control account, but it was not deducted in the individual account. So therefore, the individual account balance is more. More means we add. Omitted, received from debtors in individual account. 28,000 omitted from the individual account. So the individual balance is more. Individual balance is more. That is why we add. Then number three. Number three. Three purchase invoices mistakenly been entered in sales debut as credit sales. This is invoice. The total of these invoices 27,000, and this was recorded both in the debtors individual ledger accounts and debtors control account. So individual account also they have recorded this, and control account also it has been recorded. So we have to remove it from the control account and we have to reconcile in the debtors ledger. So first let's correct the control account. So if it is recorded in the sales debut, it is here. How do you correct the control account? We have to credit purchases. Purchases mistakenly recorded as sales. $27,000. So that's the correction of control account. Now tell me, is it a plus or minus in the reconciliation? Tell me that. Tell me whether it's a plus or minus. Let's also try to give the answer. So It's a plus. Correct. It's a plus. Yes. 27,000. See, here we have deducted. The control account balance was deducted. Right? Therefore, the control account balance, you have a lower balance. The debtors ledger, there is a higher balance. So that's all we have. Then calculate the closing balance. Balance breakdown. So this is the adjusted control account balance. Oh, what happened? I will explain again. So there is a question. So can you explain it again? But I will explain again. Let's take this example. So we assume both the balances are same. Okay. 10,000, 10,000. Now 27,000 purchases. Let's take it 100,000. Assume that control account has 100,000, individual account also has 100,000. Now what is the error? Purchase invoices 27,000 has been entered in the sales table. And this was recorded both in the debtors individual account and the debtors control account. So 27,000 is recorded here. It is not sales, it is purchases. Therefore, here you have to credit purchases 27,000. Control account you can correct. Individual account you are not doing the correction. It is assumed that it is done by another person. Therefore, what is the balance in the control account? So 100,000 minus 27,000, 73,000. So just the control account, you have 73,000. Assume that this is not your part. Divide Right? This is your baby. This is not your baby. So you are here. You are doing only this. Okay, now 73,000 is in the control account. You need to know what is the individual account balance. So what do you do to get that? You need to add 27,000. Then only you get 100,000. To get 100,000 as the answer, what you should do? You should add. So this part is done by someone else. This is the area that you are going to do. Again, this is only you know. This is not your part. So that's the reason we add this. So the answer is 633,900. 633,900. That's the balance as per debtors ledger. Balance as per debtors ledger. Okay. So what should we write as description in the reconciliation statement? A reconciliation statement. Description 27,000. Purchase invoice recorded as sales in purchase invoice recorded as sales. Is another question. Why is that purchase 27,000 in debtors ledger? This because this 27,000 was recorded as sales. That's why. That is the error. This is the error correction. This 27,000 is the error correction. Since it was recorded in sales, we credit. Credit the control. Okay. Right. 633,900 is the balance as per debtors ledger. So let's move on to another question. This is also debtors related. So once we do this question, we will move on to A-level past papers. We try to understand the basics of this concept. I'll read the question. As at 31st March 2015, the balance on Shanta's receivable control account of the ledger control account balance is 225,200. The total balance appearing in the individual account 247,400. 247,400. Following errors have been discovered. Prepare the revised receivable control account and reconcile the receivable ledger balance with control account balance. So we have to draw receivable control account and the reconciliation statement. Okay, I'll give 5 minutes. Can you all do it? Ask me questions. Try to do it. And if you have doubts, ask me any areas that you want me to explain. Control account balance is 225,200. An invoice for 5,600 has been correctly recorded in the sales daybook. Sales daybook is correct, but recorded in the individual account as 6,500. So this is not in the control account, this is in the individual account. So if the individual account is wrong, it goes to the reconciliation statement. Plus or minus. Control account, they have debited 5,600. 5,600 recorded in the individual sales daybook control account, but individual account it is recorded as 6,500. So individual account is more. Individual account balance is more by 900. It's more by 900. So it's more. We added 5,600 invoice recorded as 6,500. Individual 5,600 is recorded as 6,500 in individual account. It's the loss. In the second, a check for 5,500 from a customer has been dishonored. We got a check. Once we get a check from the customer, bank account will be debited, debtors account will be credited. This has been correctly recorded in the ledger, receivable ledger. But control account has not been updated. What do? Debit or credit in the control account? If a check received from the customer is dishonored, if a check received from the customer is dishonored, is it a debit or credit in the control account? Credit or debit? It will be debit. Data balance will increase. Dishonored check. This dishonored check. 5,000. It's not credit, it's debit. 5,500 control account balance will increase. Data balance will increase by 5,500. Next, Discount allowed total 1,200 has been not recorded in the control account. So discount allowed will be credited to the control account. This sales debit undercasted means the debit balance is less in the control account. We have to increase the sales. We have to increase the data balance. Discount allowed not recorded means we have to record it, correcting the discount allowed. Discount allowed is credit. Discount allowed is credited to the data's account. Double entry, discount allowed debit, data's account credit. That's why we have credited. Number 5, cash received 8,000 has been debited to the individual customer's account in the receivable ledger. Tell me this. Individual account, error in the individual account. So individual means it's into the reconciliation. I want plus or minus and the amount. The debit entry has been, sorry, the credit entry has been debited. Let me explain that. So minus. Right. Now it's like this. Both the balances are same. 100,000, 100,000. The error is cash received 8,000 has been debited to the individual customer account. Let's take 10,000. 10,000, 10,000. When we receive cash, cash to account debit, debtors account credit 8,000. This is correctly recorded. This is correctly recorded. It means the balance carried down is 2,000. Balance for carried is 2,000. This is correctly recorded. But in the individual account, this was debited. Individual account, this was debited 8,000. So what is the balance in the individual account? 18,000. You can see balance as per control account is 2,000. Now you need to know how much is individual account balance. So how to get this balance? What do you do? Plus or minus? And how much? How much is the difference? there is a doubt. If they mention only one area, then we should consider the other part is correct. Yes, that's how we do. If they mention one area, the other part we should assume it is correct. Right. So this is 16,000 more. So we have to add 16,000. Then only we get 18,000 as the answer. So we add 16,000. 16,000 will be added. So what is the description? Cash received 8,000, debited in individual account. The difference become double because the debit entry is credited. See here, you can see the difference. Difference is double. Difference is double. Here it's 2,000. A credit entry was debited. Then the difference will be double. Okay. Now take the balance. individual balance is 247 400. So you should get this answer 247 400. That should be the answer. Now we did revised debtors control account and debtors reconciliation statement. Now let's do a question for creditors. Creditors. Okay. Creditors control account and reconciliation. Okay. This question. Do you all need time to do it? As at 31st July, payable control account. Control account appearing in the general ledger of Aminda Fashion shows a credit balance of 118,300. That's the opening balance in the creditors control account. 118,300. Individual balances in the sub ledger is 118,800. So this is our closing balance. 118,800. Subsequent checking revealed the following reasons for the difference. 5 errors, 5 reasons. Prepare the revised trade payable control account and the reconciliation statement. Okay, I'll give 5 minutes for you all to do this. 5 minutes. Do as much as possible. After that, I will explain. Let me know if you are done. Right, so let's check the answers. The total of discounts received for the month of July 2015 amounting to 11,700 has been entered in the control account correctly, but has not been entered in the individual accounts. So discount received should be deducted from the creditor's account. Discount received should be deducted from the creditor's account. So it was deducted in the control account. It was not deducted in the individual account. Right? So control account is correct. Therefore, this comes under reconciliation. Plus or minus. Plus or minus. Reconciliation balance is more. Sorry, the trade payable ledger balance is more. Therefore, it will be plus. Very good. Right? We can say omitted discount received in individual account 11,700. So that was omitted in the individual account. So if it is not recorded, the individual balance is more. Therefore, we add. Number two. Number two. The list of balances of individual account of payable subledger has been overcasted by 7,000. So individual balance has, right? So individual balance overcasted, plus or minus. Tell me whether it's a plus or minus. It's plus because the individual account balance is more. Overcasted individual accounts. It's a plus. Overcasted individual accounts. Individual balance is more. Then we add. Next, purchases day book overcasted by 2000. If it is day book overcast, day book, then it will affect only the control account. Debit or credit. If it is control account, you have to do the error correction. Error correction. Purchases are credited. So credit side is more. How do you correct this? Credit side is overcasted, means you have to debit 20,000. Overcasted purchases. Overcasted purchases. During the month of July 2015, an amount of 2,700 payable to Superfashions, the supplier has been offset against the amount receivable from them. So Superfashion is a customer as well as a supplier. This has been correctly recorded in the individual ledger, but omitted from the control account. So setting off a debtor against creditor. What do you do? We have put debit, set off with debtors. 2,700. Debit. Set off with debtor is a debit balance in the payable account, payable control account. The last one, cash payment to supplier 4,500 has been correctly recorded in the control account. Control account is correct, but no entry has been made in the individual account. So plus or minus. Payment 4,500 correctly recorded in the control account. Payment is deducted from the control account. So control account balance is less. Therefore, the individual account balance is more. Omitted payment on omitted payment on individual account. 4,000. Fifth question, again, I will explain the fifth question. And take the format. Right. So let's take so I'm taking creditors control account and individual account. Assume both we have 10,000. Both 10,000. So what is the error? A cash payment to supplier 4,500 has been correctly recorded in the control account. So 4,500 debited. Cash credit 4,500 debited. Now, what is the balance here? It's 5,500. So creditors control account balance is 5,500, but individual account balance is 10,000. So this is 5,500. How do you get 10,000? Individual balance is more. So therefore you add 4,000. That's why we add. Is it clear now? So that's all. Now let's calculate the closing balance. Balance account. $95,600 is the closing balance of trade payable control account. If we add this, you should get the answer 118,800. So we are getting 118,800. Okay, is it clear? Are you all okay? Right, so we'll move to another last question for today. Example 10. Creditors control account balance. This is also creditors. Control account 1,300,540. Individual 1,167,640. Difference is 132,900. But I'll give 5 minutes for you all to do this. You should be able to do. Okay, so hope you all are done. Are you all done? Payable control account balance is 1,300 540. Individual balance, we should get the answer 1,167,640. Number one, the total of discount received for the month amounting to 112,300 has been entered in the control account. It has not been entered in the individual ledger. So this comes to reconciliation, plus or minus. Discount received. Discount received will be deducted from the trade payables. So in the control account, it was deducted. Let's take this example. Right. Difference is 123. So let's assume that both we have 1 million. The tax control account also 1 million. Individual account also 1 million. Discount received. Discount received 112,300 has been entered in the control account. So 112,300 discount received. It was debited, but here individual account it was not debited. So the closing balance is 887. So this is 887. You should get 1 million as the answer. So what do you do? Plus or minus? You have to add 112. Then only you get the answer as 1 million. So it's plus. So we get 112, 300. In the second one. When extracting the individual ledger account balances, credit balance of 43,500 has been incorrectly treated as a debit balance. Right? An individual account. It's in the individual account. See, both balances are same. Right? So 1 million comes A and B. $43,500. So assume total 100,000. Okay, 143,500. So how does 143,500 comes? 100,000 and 43,500. That's the count. That's how 143,500 comes. Sum. This is the debtors list. We prepare the debtors list for individual accounts. Right? So that debtors list or the creditors list balance should be equal to the control account balance. So in the creditors list, a credit balance which is 43,500. Let's read the question again. When extracting the individual account balances, credit balance 43,500 has been incorrectly treated as a debit balance. So this 43,500 credit balance treated as a debit minus. If you treat it as minus, this balance will be 56,500. So in the control account, you have 143. How do you get the balance as 56,500? It should be minus. How much is minus? 43,500 into 2. Then only you get the answer. So it's minus. $56,500. A debit balance is credited means the difference will be double. The difference will be double. So we have to deduct 87,000. We have to deduct 87,000. Okay. A credit balance is debited in individual account. A credit balance was debited in individual account. That's a minus. Okay, the next question. Next error. Total of purchase day book total for the month of December had been overcasted by 200,000. Remember, total of the day book will affect the control account. Purchases overcasted means purchases will be recorded in the credit side. So if it is overcasted means we have to correct it. Debit. Overcasted. 100,000. Overcasted purchases 200,000. Right. Next, 12,700 payable to creditor has been set off with receivable amount included in the receivable ledger from the same client and correctly entered in the individual account, but no entry in the control account. So set off will be debited. Payable, the creditor balance will reduce. Set off against 12,700 that comes under the control account. Then the last one, cash payment to creditor 54,500 has been correctly recorded in the control account, but no entry in the individual account. Cash payment 54,500. So let's take this payment. Assume 100,000. Cash payment 54,500. 54,500. Control account is correct. And the control account balance is 100,000 minus 54,500. This is the control account balance. But individual account balance is 100,000. Individual balance is more, plus or minus. Plus. Right. So that's all we have. Closing balance is 1,087,840. So we add 166,800, deduct 87. So 1,167,640. So you have to see whether you're getting this answer. 1,167,640.